seen the bubbling effect. You hear the water evaporating out of the pot. Well, hello. Today we're going to make ghee, better known as clarified butter. Sometimes also called ghee from butter, because look, we are using butter. I'm using unsalted butter, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a wonderful oil or a fat that we'll use in so many of our Asian and Indian dishes. So, of course, we'd love to have you subscribe, and also let us know if you like this video, hit the like button, and also if you have any questions, maybe you made some ghee before and you have some particular questions about the usage of it, let me know. I'd love to respond to that. So, what we're going to do is to take the butter and place it into a pot. Now this recipe really calls for this ingredient in here, and we're also going to use some cheesecloth, a strainer, and a bowl that is heat resistant. We'll later store this in an airtight container. Does not need to be refrigerated once it's clarified. So be sure that you do that. You can put it in the refrigerator if you wish, but then when you do it, it will solidify, okay? Because it'll be 100% butter. Butter fat, probably somewhere around 88% content in here. So we're going to let some of that water evaporate out of it. There's also curds and whey. We're going to let that also come to the top, and then it eventually will sift down to the bottom. So let's go ahead and put our butter right here into our pot. We're going to turn it on. You may hear some bubbling because that is the water that is in the pot being released and turning into a vapor and evaporating. We usually start on about a medium-high heat, and then we'll reduce it down to a moderate to lower moderate. You can hear that simmering right now. You'll also see some foam coming to the top of the butter. This is natural. Don't skim the foam off. What you want it to do is to cook down, and it'll go down to the bottom, and it will hit the bottom of the pot and actually start giving that ghee or clarified butter a more toasty flavor. And that's what we're trying to do. All right, so you've seen the bubbling effect. You hear the water evaporating out of the pot. You want to use a pot that has a higher top, because if not, it's going to splatter all over the kitchen. You don't want that, okay? It'll just make a big mess. But you do want this to evaporate, and it will do so, slowly, but it will really make a very flavorful cooking liquid for you. All right, now our ghee has been cooked down. If you can see inside the pot, I have the foam. It has the way it's settled to the bottom of the pot, and it actually gave it a toasty flavor. You'll see the color of your butter turning to a more brighter orange, brighter yellow, and you can also smell it, almost like nuts toasting. This is what we wanted to do. The next point we have to do is we're going to transfer it from this pot into a fine mesh strainer, okay, with some cheesecloth. This is going to capture those spent wheys and all of those types of things that we don't want into a clarified butter. But once this butter now has clarified, there's no longer any liquid in there. We removed the whey part of it. We added a flavor texture, and that's what's so important for us, to have that, and that's why we went through this trouble. Now, of course, we do want you to subscribe to this channel, and if you want this recipe, it's right below the comments, and we'd love for you to not only like us, but also add a comment. Let me know that you enjoy this, and you may have some questions. I'd be happy to answer it for you. I wanted to point out, in the beginning we talked about using unsalted butter. You can still do this recipe with salt. The salt will actually, you'll see the crystals on the bottom of the pot when you finish clarifying it. Okay, this butter can be stored in your refrigerator if you so feel like it, or you can just leave it at room temperature, but please keep it covered and only use a clean spoon. So if you're double dipping, don't put one spoon in and come back again, because once that happens, this clarified butter will be a perfect host to breed things you don't want, okay? But if you use a clean spoon every time, this butter will last for days, weeks if you want, okay? So here we go, we're gonna clarify it. All right, So now what we're going to do is to carefully strain out the whey and end up with the beautiful clarified butter. So look in this, can you look inside this pot right here? You'll see some of the product that it hit the bottom of the pot and became toasty. Be sure you cook this on a very low flame because you don't want it to burn, okay? Once it burns, it's lost, but you want that toasty color and flavor. Now let's remove our cheesecloth from the bowl. And what I like to do, because I don't want to waste any of it, I just take my cheesecloth, gather it, give it a little squeeze, get out that last drop that's in there, okay? Let's put this over here. And here is our clarified butter. So beautifully clarified. It's perfect for all of your Indian inspired dishes and actually for any type of cooking. As I mentioned, when I had my restaurants, we use clarified butter all the time. The chefs would love to cook with it. It gives you that butter flavor. And by the way, it gives you a better butter flavor, picked up butter flavor, which is very important as well, because everything you do is about the flavor. Now remember, all of our recipes here are simple and you can bet they are delicious.